welcome back to the third and final hour of Once Upon a Game, where me and Leafington have been playing Lovecraftesque, which has been a remarkably fun story game about sort of like a Lovecraft story. So we just finished the first scene of part 2 of Lovecraftesque, and so I'm going to go back to the teaching guide and read like the next step of it. So from now on, at the end of any scene, the witness can begin the journey into darkness that will lead us to the climax of our story, the final horror. The final horror will happen somewhere dark, ancient, remote, or abandoned, and this can happen in 3 ways. If at the end of a scene, the witness decides to go somewhere that looks like a likely candidate for the location of the final horror, and it feels like it's time, well, the player of the witness can initiate the journey, and with that location as the endpoint. Alternatively, if after a part 2 scene the new narrator wishes to begin the journey, they can do so by deciding where the final horror will take place and initiating a force majeure scene in which events conspire to force the witness to head that way towards that location. And then finally, after 3 part 2 scenes, part 3 will begin automatically with a force majeure scene with that narrator deciding where the location of the final horror will be. So, cool. Back to the game.
All right. I
Boom.
believe I'm the narrator.
Yes.
And I think I have an idea where we can head to the journey into darkness. And that is right after, like, so Nadine has like just turned over the body and like looked at his face, and like saw the eyeballs missing. There's strange carvings all over his body. Buck is like he just has this stupefied look on his face, where he just doesn't know what to do.
Oh yeah.
He
I
doesn't
think
know if to be sad or mad.
I think Nadine will like kind of like keep looking to Robbie to be like what do we do? Like Robbie, like get it together. Like we need to figure this out. We need to get back. This is like we can't but we can't leave him here.
And you're like when you're like, we can't leave him here. He like kind of snaps it from there. And he's like, all right, yeah. Like of course. Like we have to. Like and he like starts picking him up or something.
Okay.
And as soon as like the body has completely left the ice, like there's just a horrifying, terrible crack like all over that ice. Don't know if you've ever been like on a pond or a lake or something, and then the ice cracked underneath you, and it's terrifying.
Yeah,
that
so like
shit is just happening to you.
Is it like centered around the body?
Yeah, so you look down and it's like just a spider of like right where he was.
Oh yeah.
Is like going everywhere.
So it's straining, and I think did Robbie grab the body? Robbie grabbed him, right?
Yeah. He's like trying to.
Yes,
like,
I think Nadine tries to help and be like, we gotta move now, right? Like go soldier, go. And like they proceed to try to like hurry off the ice as it's like breaking.
Yeah. So do you want to?
But they're like in the middle.
Do you want to like? They're like right in the middle, dude.
Yeah. So
it's beautiful. So do you want to like help carry him, or do you want to like help put him on Robbie's back?
Does Robbie look like he's holding him?
Like he's trying to just put him over his shoulders, and like you guys are all fit. Like you could probably
Yeah.
carry him too.
Yeah,
And
totally.
like he's naked, he doesn't have anything on him.
Um,
So you could probably pick him up too, and Robbie can probably pick him up by
Sure.
himself.
Sure.
All right, so you let Robbie pick him up by himself, and you start running, and like you're not going fast, or at least Robbie isn't.
Oh
But you're
yeah, like I feel it. Yeah, I can definitely outpace him while the ice is cracking though. Um,
Yeah. Are you outpacing him?
yeah, but like I think I turn around to like realize that I'm outpacing him, and I see Robbie struggling with Jimmy's body with Jimmy's body. And,
All right.
I-
And like he's running, and you see him run, and you see the ice behind him actually collapsing,
Ooh,
and not
Into what?
water
Oh.
is flowing out. It just like collapses
ooh, into like just void.
into void, into nothing, and you don't know what's underneath. Like supposedly there was water, but where's the
Yeah.
water, right? Or even if it was solid ice, then there'd be more ice under it, and it wouldn't like fall into anything.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, like
I
you
go
run
back.
for it.
Yeah, I know. I go back for Robbie and Jimmy
Yeah,
to save them. Like in a way. So I think Nadine would do whatever she could to help get Robbie and Jimmy out. So if that means Robbie passes Jimmy over to her, or
Yeah.
if I like help him fireman carry him, like the double assisted carry kind of thing.
yeah.
Like I'm like whatever makes the most sense in the moment.
See, that's the main carry.
I leave that
You're
to
like
the narrator.
running for your life,
Yeah,
but poor Nadine and Robbie get swallowed up by this collapsing ice, and they just get buried, and like there's huge chunks, and like they pummel you everywhere, and then at one point one hits your head, and
Oh.
you fall unconscious.
and we get knocked out.
And this was the force majeure that will
Yes.
lead into the journey of into darkness.
That was wonderful. That's awesome. I just want to say the best part about story games is that it's okay to root for when bad things happen. That's so.
Nick was like, "Fuck that guy, he's dead."
Yeah, yeah. Our chat is exploding about leave some soldiers behind. Yeah, definitely. Well, it's pretty human. Okay, so then that goes into part 3.
Yes.
I think I have to look at the rules for part 3. Okay, we're about to reach the final scene of the game. The witness is going to see the true horror that so far has only been hinted at. The scene will involve a direct encounter with a monster or a revelation or of worldview shattering proportions, or maybe both. One of us has to volunteer to decide what that true horror is and be the narrator for this scene. We've all been writing our ideas down as we go. Oh, what's up?
I think we're still doing. We haven't arrived at the location yet, and we still have to do this.
Oh, we haven't? Oh, okay. We're about to start.
That was yeah.
Yeah, so we're about to. Sorry,
wanted that to be
I read one too many.
force majeure.
Yeah, sorry. That's what happens when you're still learning a game. We're about to start a new part of the game called the Journey into Darkness. This part is a single extended scene, and during the scene, we're going to take turns describing the journey to the location of the final horror. A turn doesn't involve a lot of talking, just a few sentences. On your turn, unlike the rest of the game, you have free choice over what role you take. If you choose to be narrator, you describe the environment and move the journey on. If you choose to be the witness, you describe the inner thoughts and fears. If you choose to be the watcher, you can elaborate on whatever the previous player describes. We'll play through at least 12 turns, and then starting with the 12th turn, we choose to be. If we choose to be narrator, then we describe the arrival at the final horror. So, okay, totally. So we're in some sort of vast cave network, Um, I think when our witness gets recovers consciousness, I think she is like hello, and like she hears her stuff like echo throughout the major void. She like looks up, and it's almost like it's almost miraculous that they didn't die in the fall. Like the falls was like hundreds of feet deep, but they must have like landed through like snow and stuff and slid down. Or not. Like they don't. Maybe just something else kept them alive. But they are now within a huge like cave network, um, and scrawled all over the cave, in almost like a like veins of a mineral, but like light blue, are this similar carvings of what was um, on what's his name, on Jimmy's
Jimmy.
skin.
Yeah. And the same color as the lake was.
Yeah, the same color as the lake.
Yeah. All right. So we kind of riff off each other, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of you go, I go.
Yeah,
So
you can either describe it from the perspective of the witness or the narrator.
yeah. So we check for Jimmy and Robbie, and they're not there.
Oh, it's just us?
It's
Nice.
It's just Lieutenant Nadine.
Cool.
And
cool.
she's like looking around. Like she has all her gear and stuff, and like maybe some of it is scattered.
Mm-hmm.
But Jimmy and Robbie are nowhere to be seen.
Nice. I think Nadine tries to like steal herself a little bit, or like still herself, and try to like listen to like in a way maybe she like if she hears somebody she could go in that direction, and so she tries to perceive or make out any kind of thing of Robbie, but instead she hears the drumming and droning of electrical equipment in the far distance somewhere in the cave network.
All right, so she goes to investigate towards a noise. She still has her flashlight, luckily to guide her path. But underneath, like at some point, like she steps on something, like it's like rocky and stuff and uneven. At some point, she steps on something and it caves in, and she looks and it's like a skull. But it has like all these like scars on the bone where the eyes are, like around the eyes, as if like it got stabbed in the eye or something like that.
Nice. Okay, so I think she starts calling out for Robbie. Finding that like Robbie, like like Sergeant Robert Stormbuck, like start like by his official name or whatever.
Yeah.
Like where are you? Like hello. And she hears this in the same voice as the first day when she got there on the radio equipment. She hears the her husband's voice say naughty, like somewhere in the cave.
Yeah. So actually not being sure of like if that thing came from the same like electrical droning buzzing direction, she just kind of assumes it is at this point. And she presses on, and then like her flashlight gives out and she's like, no, fuck. And like she slams it. She like looks through her back for some batteries, but she didn't bring any extras, and like it just gave out. She has to chuck her torch, and she's in like complete darkness now.
She almost trips over something in the darkness, and it's Robbie's gun.
Holy shit. All right. So, um, she gets closer to that droning, and like maybe she just didn't notice because it was so gradual.
Yeah.
But like her bodies are sending signals of like this is like way too loud. It's starting to hurt.
Yeah.
Uh, and like it's just like this overwhelming electrical buzzing that was it's just like drowning out her own thoughts at this point. Go and put it in the gun. Nice.
I think can I repeat a clue?
I don't think we have to give clues at this point. We're just
Yeah, just
describing
describing the
the
descent,
journey.
the journey. Okay.
Yeah.
I think she stumbles until she gets to what appears to be man-made, like a man-made. So like the cave network is no longer ancient and etched and like sort of like natural, but it looks to be like it was carved and man-made. And she comes across a like a metal door with a like with a one of those like windows there, but it's completely like fogged up, but it's clearly like army made.
All right. So
And like it like
okay.
the she's also constantly still bombarded with those electrical buzzing sounds.
hmm So she like looks for a handle and she's like feeling all over the door, and the
Mm-hmm.
door is hot, like not warm.
Ooh.
It's like hot. And she has to like take off her jacket to like wrap around this like it's just this big iron ring that she finds,
Oh yeah, sure.
and like just pull it open like painstakingly, and she gets like hit with this wave of heat as she opens it.
Oh nice. Um uh Inside is a trail of blood. That seems to be like dripping from like it looks to be okay. So like imagine um a like a metal grate type of floor, and then sort of like cement walls. Like imagine like it's like a narrow passage, right? Excuse me, and there's like a couple like pipes and stuff kind of going around near the top, but like from whatever sort of like ambient light that could exist in like behind here, or like I guess in our immediate vicinity, it looks like there's this like there were like bloody hand marks like going down the walls, and like bloody footprints, like going down this path. And she thinks it might be Robbie.
Ooh. All right. Uh, so she follows these footprints. She can follow because there's like this light at the end that's giving off like just enough ambient light that she can make out like things. Like at first, like when you're in the dark, your mind is just making up all these things that are in front of you.
Yeah,
And
totally.
like at first, like maybe she thought it was that, but it's like no, like these are footprints, and this is like kind of blood colored, and it's like yeah, like I have to follow it. And she heads to this chamber, which is lit at the edge of this tunnel.
Okay. Um, is the chamber barred off or anything like that, or is it just like it just opens into this giant room?
Um, I'll leave that up to you.
Okay. Um, I think what?
Yeah, and I think like I know it says like 12 turns, but like if we want, we can maybe get it.
Oh, see, what I was gonna say is, so no, I think it opens. I think it's there, and I think it enters this. I think it's open, and I
Okay.
think this is also like almost. It's almost unbearably hot. Like I imagine like 75 degrees Celsius. You know, like
Jesus.
like literally like 130 Fahrenheit. You know, like 140. Like it's
Like you will actually die if you
yeah,
spend.
if you're prolonged here in more than like more than an hour, you'll dehydrate. You know, like pass out. Like it's
Yeah.
super hot, and but like she's kind of like kind of looking like this kind of way, like preventing herself from getting hurt. At the light, and the door, like this vast chamber, is circular in nature, like ovalid in nature, and in the
Mhm.
middle of the room is like deep below. Um, this giant like dome like room is a glowing meteor that's like radiating this heat. But she can't make out what's even on the meteor.
All right. Uh, so she looks for a way down. Because the bloody footprints just go off the edge
Yeah.
where it opens in the thing, and then like they're just gone.
Okay.
But that's she doesn't want to make a huge fall again.
No, I
So she
doubt she
finds
does.
these so she finds these stairs which are weird because like people stairs are like this really specific measurement. I don't know if you noticed, but like if like stairs are like off by like half an inch, then they feel weird.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but these stairs are like way off, like totally not for human. Like it's super uncomfortable. Like every step is like a foot and a half
Oh
or
wow.
something
Yeah.
down. Like really uncomfortable and steep. But it does
Do
like
do
go
they look
down
like they
like
were?
all the way around.
Are the stairs like are they carved or are they made?
Oh yeah, they're like smooth as silk.
Okay, they were okay. So they were. I mean, so like they were made. They're metal stairs still.
No, they're rock,
Oh, okay.
but
But they're like
like like
smooth rock stairs. Okay.
false rock,
Yeah.
like smooth as a countertop, and it's like it's not some nice marble that people get smooth. It's like it looks like just plain old rocks, but
Mm,
for some reason they're just smooth as glass.
okay. Um. So I guess we're ready for the final part three.
Yeah, I think so.
So do you want to do it, or should I?
Um,
The final scene.
I think I can do something.
Yeah. So one of us will volunteer to decide what the true horror is, and and be the narrator for the scene. We've all been writing our ideas down as we go. Ha. So this shouldn't be too hard. The narrator will have to weave a horror that explains all of the clues that we've seen so far. But they needn't explain it all to us during the scene, as long as they don't ignore any of the clues entirely.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think what happens is that uh, on the meteor that's like glowing,
mm-hmm.
uh, and
Mm, mm.
what's that?
I just gotta. I just. I. My version just. My head canon just came together.
All right. So
So sorry. Go ahead, and I'll tell you mine
we, we,
afterwards.
we can do your version after. So
Yeah.
on the meteor is like, and it was like hard to see, and maybe that's why she didn't see it at first. But there's also an equally like glowing or like it's enveloped in the glow, but there's this like human shape, and like we're getting close. We have to shield our eyes
Oh,
uh,
okay.
to see
Oh, so like
who
the
it
human
is.
shape's encased in the meteor.
No, like it's on top of it.
Oh, okay. Like it's sitting
And
there?
it's Robbie. It's like he's like
Oh.
lying there. He's like kind of spread eagle on it. Like we just kind of like see like his hand maybe sticking out the most, and then like the side of his face. But he's like engulfed in this glow because this meteor is big.
Yeah.
Like it's a a good like 10 feet or something
Sure.
across.
Sure. Yeah.
Uh, so she sees Robbie on there, and she like wants to approach, but it's like approaching a fire. At some point, your mind is like, nah, we're not going closer. This is quite
Oh,
close
yeah,
enough.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, and then like Robbie's head like turns to you,
Mm-hmm.
and paint me like one of your French words. No. It like turns you, and like you think like, is he looking to me? And like your eyes are burning, um, and your thoughts drift to like the mask,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then the meteor, like you hear it, and it's the same sound that the lake made.
Mm-hmm.
You hear like a crack, and the meteor breaks, and out from it rises the shape, which drives you mad just looking at it. Its colors are like not of this world. It's nothing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
No color you've ever seen before. Its shape is like way too large to have ever been in this meteor at all, and it's just like spilling out and filling this room. And I mean, what do you do?
There's not much I can do. I think I just kind of get enveloped by it, right?
Do you? Do you like? I
Um,
mean, it's not enveloping you where you stand. Do you walk forwards and get enveloped by it?
oh. Um, no, I think she'll try to escape as best she could.
Right. So you climb up those stairs,
No, yeah, she's like,
right?
no, I have to be with my like, no, it's like all she thoughts of her husband are the only thing that's keeping her
Yeah.
from losing it. Is that she has
So
to get
you
out to see
climb
her
up these
husband one more time.
stairs. You you're like panting. You like you don't even look, like you have to go, and as long as you focus like right in front of you, you can go faster and faster,
Hmm.
and like you're flying up these stairs. And you're running through this hallway with this grate and these footsteps that you can see like much clearer now.
Yeah.
And then, right as you get to the door, you hear like this rushing sound coming like from behind you,
Uh
and
huh.
you hit the floor like right before it. Like this massive shape just flies over you. The heat is unbearable, and do you look at it?
Oh, of course I look at it. And what do I see?
You look at it, and your eyes burn, and get the last thing you ever see in your life is this sickly color of supernatural nature that you've never seen before, and you will never ever see after, because you go blind. You are left alone in this cave as the heat subsides,
Fuck.
and you're alone in a cave under a lake
Damn.
forever.
So then the epilogue, right? Shit.
Then the epilogue.
Oh wait. So before the epilogue, our story has concluded, but we're going to have an epilogue to reveal a little of what happens next, both the witness, but also to the horror they encountered. We don't play this out, but just narrate it, either as a scene or a series of short scenes, or perhaps something like a newspaper article that we read out loud. Um, I think the epilogue would read volcanic blast shakes North Alaska. Um,
Yep.
soldiers missing. That's it. and it's her husband reading the newspaper in like San Francisco or something like that, like over coffee, is how it ends.
Man, I was gonna let her live, but just be blind. But alright, she's missing.
Well, just missing. Like we don't like. So I guess yeah, I guess really though, like the army is like probably looking for her, and like like helicopters and stuff are going over, but they don't know.
Cover up.
Yeah, they like like the army.
Shit.
Yeah, like I guess for the epilogue, like we see that part, and then we cut over to the very end, and we see like the army like people like investigating around this lake or whatever, and the lake, instead of looking misty or whatever in Tango Point, it just looks like perfectly just like this hole in the ground.
Yeah, it was hollow.
And like the caves and everything
That-
look
that-
all like muted now, like there's no color
It
in it.
looks suspiciously like a crater.
And
like, dish.
And they find Lieutenant Nadine sort of like mumbling like, I've seen it. You can like you'll see it too. Shit. So I think that's it.
I think
Wow.
that's it.
So
All right. Let me hear your plan, and I'll kind of.
well, my conclusion is going to be far more succinct. I was
Okay.
thinking and a little bit more like so she's like going down to the meteor, right? Like she's stepping down those stairs in this dome room, and it's getting so hot and it's burning her eyes, and like the last thing she sees at the meteor is eyes in the meteor, like hundreds and hundreds of eyes looking at her in the meteor. Robbie is still missing and everything like that, and it dawns on her in a moment of pure clarity, is that it won't hurt as much to look at this if I just remove my own eyes and put them into this rock. That was gonna be my conclusion.
Oh,
Meanwhile, yeah.
yeah, like so I was like, she should wear the mask to like protect herself from it. Like
Yeah.
if she was wearing the mask, she would have been all right. Like at least not get blinded by it.
Yeah.
Because there's this, yeah, and that's like why the Inuit mask was eyeless. Was because of these like cultists.
Yeah, this
go
was
to this egg and
fucking-
like, do stuff with it.
I can't get over how smooth and awesome this story came out. Like this was awesome. I love this. This was a lot of fun for me.
It's pretty good.
So it's
like-
11:36. So do you want to talk about the game a little bit?
Yeah.
Kind of what you liked and didn't like and that kind of stuff. Meanwhile,
I think
my
I
dog
I
and
think I
cat
said
are
it-
kind of going crazy behind me right now.
I think I said it before off stream. I like that how they like try to codify Lovecraftian stories and be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Well, make your own with this formula." That kind of happens.
Yeah. I think
And it was good.
the game does the pacing. I think there was so much effort into how the game gets paced, so it's slow.
Yes.
Like it's the slow burn to the very end where the horror gets revealed. Yeah, like that pacing is what kind of really drives this game, and I think it's brilliant how it's done.
Yeah,
So
the pacing being codified, like really, and like I'm not huge into writing stuff,
yeah,
but like this kind of helped me out making like a good arc at least, right? Like some of the ideas may have been like kind of weird. Like I know I was fighting you when we first went to the dish, and you were like asking these questions, and I was like, no, it's not the idea I want to go with.
yeah.
I was kind of fighting you on it, and maybe I should have just gone more with it. But I don't know if that's also a product of not having any watchers.
Yeah, I think if we had a third player with so that we could actually have a watcher, I think this game would have been even more crazy.
That
been
like
awesome.
by the rules is supposed to like ask questions and interject. And,
Yeah, so like I was kind of having to do
Color
that as
the
my own
scenes more.
character. Yeah.
'Cause,
So
yeah, that was also my like my instinct as playing it with two people, as like the witness, are you also a watcher while you're a witness? Is it just
Kinda.
like the narrator who becomes a watcher?
Well, yeah, I think you're supposed to kind of prod him a little bit more. So
So
I don't know, but
I think it could use a watcher, but
yeah.
sorry.
Morning. Someone in chat, Morningside asks, have you guys read the short story The Outsider? I have not read The Outsider by HP.
I'm not sure if I have, because I'm bad with titles.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have or not, but yeah, sorry, man. I don't think I've read that one per se. But I should have asked you this at the start. Leafington, what was your favorite? Do you have like a favorite like example of horror that like comes to your mind? It doesn't even have to be Lovecraft, but like when you think of like horror, what do you think of?
I actually really like Lovecraftian horror, and that's why I was so excited to play this. Like at first I was like hoping like, oh, maybe like one day Eric is like, I need to like a map drawing or something drawing, and I'm like, I like drawing, I want to play those games.
Yeah.
You know, like Lovecraftian, I'm like, hell yeah. Like I love the Lovecraftian stuff. I like that it's like we got to this point in like modern horror where it's like, oh, you know, it's a zombie, it's fine, it's whatever.
Yeah, totally.
But like the Lovecraftian stuff, like even if it's just a zombie, like it's still this mystery thing that's going on, like this complete unknown, and they don't know what to do with it, they don't know how to fight it, like they have no ideas about it because it's just like this non-existent thing, or at least like that's a style, right? And like I just love that, and like listening to like Lovecraftian like role playing, like mostly Call of Cthulhu stuff, but actually got into using tabletop as like a media to consume. Like I'd listen to podcasts of that because I was just so in love with it.
So what do you think? Like, so since you've played Call of Cthulhu before, what do you think of this game in terms of like the Cthulhu and horror kind of style of game versus Call of Cthulhu? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they compare at all. Like this is like this is like a writing exercise.
Yeah, this feels like a writing exercise.
Like
yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
A role playing game, which is like Call of Cthulhu is way more role playing game. Like, you know, you can fight monsters. Like you shouldn't fight monsters, but you can fight monsters, and you can maybe win. But here,
I mean this game. There's several types of genres of that you could do with this game, and one of them is heroic horror, where you can actually fight and defeat the monster. But I'd be willing to try that at some point, and that's kind of what Call of Cthulhu as a game does more. It's better than investigative horror, mostly because like cosmic horror, I don't know, like Call of Cthulhu sets you up in a way that as a protagonist you have a vested interest in succeeding. So it's very hard to look at a story and frame it in a way like you can in this game in Lovecraftesque, where it's okay to fail. Like we were rooting to fail and like get in over our heads in a way.
But that's like stories, and like maybe it's also part of me just being a Lovecraft lover.
So I think this was one
of that I'd like to adhere to that style. I think with like players who maybe are not as familiar with that sort of horror would get into more heroic horror, and definitely. Like I think it's fine for that, but there's it's narratively like, do you think you're gonna win? So it's a thing to consider, and I think that Call of Cthulhu, like it sets you up for it. Like you're at least supposed to fight it.
I like
because it gives you systems to fight it.
This feels more like kind of like Robert Chambers' work as well, or Lovecraft if you diverge from like the mythos of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like feels like a Lovecraft story without the mythos because we chose to not go down that path, which I think was really awesome for us. I really enjoyed not having the cliches. I know everyone in chat was screaming about having Shoggoths everywhere, but like I kind of enjoy my stories to not have those sort of like cliches, and that horror isn't a thing that I know about. like this was some sort of strange meteor and some sort of like meteor alien that controlled like the weather somehow and like some sort of like crazy shit, and that the Inuits kind of like knew about in a way. Like,
Yeah, but
awesome.
I like that
Like,
because you're like creating this like conglomerate horror.
yeah.
Like, no one really knows what the end horror is gonna be.
No,
because
because we're putting little
horrors.
facets on this this multi-dimensional unknown thing. So the very end of it is like this amalgamation that could never be made by yourself, which is frightening because like this game, I think I never realized just how strong story gaming and GMless and horror kind of can go in hand for that, because you don't know what other people are thinking in terms of, and that's how you kind of get the randomness as opposed to like a die roll and a table. So this was a lot of fun. I definitely can't wait to play this game again. I'm definitely going to play it on this Wednesday. So as always, this is Once Upon a Game, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9, where we play story games. It's a story game variety show, and this week is Lovecraftesque. If you're interested in joining this, either this week or the following weeks or whatever, follow me on Twitter. I reach out and try to recruit from there. That's how I got Leafington, is a fan, and he reached out to me there. So if you're interested, that's the best way to get on. All you need is a camera and a microphone and eagerness to play story games, because story games really only require one thing, and that is you, the player. Everything else is kind of secondary, and we can work around it. So, final words, Leafington?
No, you can find me here on Twitch under Leafington. I don't really stream because I had a lot of hardware trouble before, but maybe someday, soon, DM, or on Twitch or on Twitter, where I usually don't tweet, but if I do, it's some silly picture that I drew.
Yeah, you love your pictures. So.
And no, watch the show. It's great. Like, you should come back for it.
Yep. And
I love it.
yeah, so the VODs will be going on YouTube probably first thing tomorrow. And like always, you can catch up on the rest of the shows, but since this is a variety show where everything's a one-shot GMless prepless game, there's nothing's beholden you to catch up or anything like that. So you can just pick up whenever you want. So that's it for episode 8 of Once Upon a Game. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. So good night.